Hey guys, welcome back and happy Monday. All right, guys, well, we're back to talk about some more drama that's going on in the housewives world. And it looks like this Two Teas in a Pod podcast that we all kind of slept on for a second and thought, oh, this is probably going to be a bust with Teddi Mellencamp and Tamra Judge. Well, they're revealing a lot that is going on behind the scenes in the housewives world on this podcast. It's actually a good listen. So now Tamra Judge is talking about a run-in with Teresa Giudice after dissing Luis on the pod and is explaining why Vicki's not happy with her. Plus, she reacts to, well, being the worst dressed at the MTV Awards, which I didn't think she was the worst dressed. I thought that there were a couple others that were probably worse than her, but that's okay. We'll get into it. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so it looks like Tamra Judge ran into Teresa Giudice and her fiance, Luis Ruelas, after sparking a feud with the couple by seemingly shading him for being similar to Vicki Gunvalson's ex-boyfriend, Brooks Ayers, who infamously lied about having cancer, this whole cancer diagnosis on The Real Housewives of Orange County season 10. Now, if we wanted to go down in history as who is the worst partner on The Real Housewives of Orange County, or just in The Real Housewives period, I know that Andy Cohen had a guest on Watch What Happens Live the other day who starred in the new movie on Hulu called Fire Island, and he said Michael Darby. I think Michael Darby is right up there, and I know Vicki never married Brooks, but Brooks might take the cake as the worst partner in Housewives history. While attending the MTV Movie and TV Awards last week with Teddi Mellencamp, who admitted that it was exhausting having to hide from certain housewives they've mentioned on their podcast, Tamra detailed the encounter with Teresa and Luis before confirming he's a Real Housewives of Orange County fan. And she was explaining why she's currently feuding with Vicki and reacted to being named one of the worst dressed at the show. Of course, who are we behind the press line, right? It's no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-shocker. It's not shocking at all. I mean, I'm thinking about it and I'm like, well, when you talk about people, you always end up coming face to face with them. So this is, I don't know if it's karma. Hi, yes, I'm karma and I am a bitch. But it was no other than Teresa. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Great. Oh, great. And that's what Tamra recalled of the incident. In recent weeks, Tamra and Teresa have made headlines for Tamra's comments comparing Luis to Brooks and later due to Teresa's decision to unfollow her on Instagram. But when they came face to face at the MTV TV and Movie Awards, Tamra said that Teresa was very kind. The Teresa thing, I was wrongly accused by the press. And that's what Tamra said, denying that she was speaking negatively about Luis. After spending a good hour next to one another in the press line, Tamra and Teresa were sat next to one another. And for a while, Tamra dreaded their potential interaction as Teresa didn't acknowledge her. And I'm not surprised because Teresa's not going to, the thing is like when Teresa's done with you and you're like dead to the family, you're dead. She's good. She's not going to have a big blow up situation at the award show. And also I feel like Luis kind of tries his best to keep her calm and level headed. And he's like, this isn't the place. Don't do this. And every time she gets in her feelings or upset with one of the other housewives, like Margaret Josephs, you have Luis on the other side saying, you know, Margaret's a good person. And then you have Teresa like, I want to kill you. So it's really like they balance each other, I guess, in some strange way. Okay. She said, I kept looking over like, oh shit, it's coming any minute. And I was kind of by myself for a second. And Luis came up and he's like, Tamra, hi, it's so nice to meet you. According to Tamra, Luis was so sweet and was asking about her hubby, her husband, Eddie Judge, and her son, Ryan, and their gens. Obviously, he watches the show. So I said, you know, you do know Teresa's kind of mad at me right now. And I'd love to explain that that's not what I said. I wasn't saying anything bad about you. And he's like, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It was a misunderstanding. And I'm like, okay. Then later, Teresa leaned over to her and said, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. And I was glad that that was all squashed. We took pictures. Everything was fine. And that's what she recalled of the event. But why is Vicki mad at her? That's my biggest question. As the podcast continued, Tamra revealed that during her night out, she ran into fellow reality star Claire Crawley from The Bachelor series and The Bachelorette, who we actually invited to join us on stage alongside the Chrisleys and Emily D. Baker and Molly and Cynthia in Nashville, but we couldn't end up, making it work out. I think she had another event or something. But She informed her that Vicki is mad at her before calling her on FaceTime. She called her on FaceTime during this whole situation. She starts going, Vicki is not happy with you. And I said, why? And she said, you didn't go to her birthday party. I go, I know, but I just can't take off and go to Mexico. I have a daughter in school that doesn't drive. I have 2 businesses. I have a podcast. Sorry. So she had a party in Orange County, and it just so happened that we had a dinner party for Eddie and his birthday that same night. So I couldn't go. We'd already talked about it, but this girl was trying to bring it up. Although Tamra said that she texted Vicki an article about the news of Luann de Lesseps and Sonia Morgan's reported Simple Life reality TV show, she didn't hear back. I literally texted over an article where Luann and Sonia have signed a deal for this show, their own show, which we've already done a video on. Tamra also, in all of this madness, reacted to being one of the top 3 worst dressed celebrities at the MTV Awards. But I don't think she was the worst dressed. Like, even looking at the shots, I'm like, it could have been Taylor Armstrong. It could have been a few other of the housewives. I don't think that Tamra Judge was necessarily, I thought she brought it. Maybe that's why I don't talk about fashion. I don't know. Now, this isn't the only thing going down. I know that we've spoke about this, but the fact that Andy Cohen recently just mentioned that Tamra Judge, he couldn't see a world where he would ask Tamra Judge to come back to the show because she's talking about housewives. I still can't wrap my mind around that, not even giving her the option to walk away from the podcast and come back on the show, or just not talk about the show on the podcast. Instead, it's just like, you know what? No, I can't see a world where you would come back, because how does a housewife come onto a housewife show when they're talking about, you know, other housewives on a podcast and what goes on behind the scenes? I get it, but give her the opportunity not to talk about it. And Heather Dubrow, like I said, also talks about the show on her podcast. And she talks about things that happen. She talks about her former co-stars. So what's the difference? And why isn't Vicki getting asked back? Are we just done with Vicki? The OG of the OC can't make a return after 14 seasons? I think it would be fun. We bring back Sheree Whitfield. We brought her back like, what, 3 times now? What other OGs have we brought back? I mean, we brought back the ex-wives into the ex-wives club, but that was a series specific for the Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. So maybe that doesn't necessarily count, but we brought back Heather Dubrow. Why not bring back Vicki and Tamra? I know it might be an unpopular opinion, but that's my unpopular opinion. And I feel like I'm kind of entitled to it, but I want to hear your opinion, whether it's unpopular or not. Go ahead and comment below. What are your thoughts about Tamra Judge talking about her run-in with Teresa and Louis, talking about how awkward it was, plus this whole reason that Vicki's not happy with her? It's like, ladies, you're not filming the show anymore. You don't have to fight over silly nonsense. And it was also her husband's birthday party that same night too. So relax, Vicki. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And we're also technically we're bringing back Hot Messy Topics today, and we'll be doing it on Mondays and Fridays. I'm ready for you guys to join us to talk about some messy topics, to break it all down and have a little bit of fun. Have you guys call in. I think it's going to be a blast, and it's going to be reminiscent of what we've done in the past. So I love you guys, and we'll see you so very soon. Bye, guys.